To celebrate the release of A Night Rises, which is the second book in the Phoenix series, I thought I would talk a little bit about the world that they live in, so Lanhivalere, a little bit about the school that they go to, which is Orphealii Academy of Magic, or OAM, a little bit about the prophecy, and a little bit about just plot points that are really important in the general scheme of things in the Phoenix series. Before I start, I just want to apologize for the lighting. It just suddenly went really, really dark. So hopefully it is about to bucket down with rain. That would be really nice because we are in a drought. And as many of you know, Australia is really struggling with bushfires. So hopefully it's about to rain, and that is the reason for the terrible lighting as opposed to a massive amount of smoke. What I thought I would do in this video is discuss the Orphealii Academy of Magic, or OAM, which you learn about initially in book 1. So this is the academy in which the students descend upon to learn how to cast magic, to create their wands, and they must complete their first year and pass all their exams to be able to move about in the magical community. Some of the witches and wizards who go to OAM have been homeschooled before, some have briefly attended regular schools, and there is a little bit of a mixture in terms of what exposure they've all had to the Parvai, so to non-magical people. But essentially OAM is a boarding school, so it has dormitories and lessons and professors and things like that. So one of the things you learn in The Hunted is that there is a law that says that if any student is lost from the academy, meaning they didn't leave with permission, they were actually taken, or they were traveling and they disappeared, if they were lost from the academy, they are presumed turned by the vampires, which means if they reappear, they are killed regardless of whether they've been turned or not. So this is an extremely relevant plot point for what happens between the twins, Nathaniel and Penelope. And it also means that the professors are faced with a challenge in terms of the curriculum, and that's why the curriculum continuously changes. And this challenge is basically, how much do you teach them in order for them to have enough education to survive? How much is too much, and how much allows you to protect your secrets of the magical community without leaving the students unprepared? Because if a student is changed, they become a vampire, and the knowledge that they had in life is maintained in death, and that means that they really need to be careful about what they teach the students, because if any of them are changed, then that knowledge then becomes of vampires. But in the same breath, they want to obviously make sure that their students are as well educated as possible. This also means that the students have to be made aware of the various evacuation points of the castle. In the event that the castle is ever overrun, they have to, and you learn this in The Hunted, they have to find the various exit points from the castle, and there are only 3. Part of the curriculum involves taking the students to potentially very undesirable locations in order to teach them how to get out of the castle if they need to. They also need to know the various entry and exit points for the castle, because in subsequent years, once they've completed their first year of study, some of them will live in the city of Lane, and some of them will live in the Hive, which I'll talk about in other videos, and that means that they have to commute to the castle for their lessons. And if they have to commute to the castle for their lessons, they may need to know alternate entry and exit points in order to get in and out of the castle safely. In terms of the ever-changing curriculum, the professors also have to decide what knowledge really only has value if you've sought it or struggled to attain it. So there is an element of things being withheld so that people actually go through the effort of struggling to attain that knowledge so that it has value. In The Hunted, the students are given charms when they arrive at the school. So these are various different types of charms, and basically once they put them on, they can't take them off. This identifies them as a student of the OAM and allows them access to the castle. So they have these charms for security reasons. Basically, they allow the students access to their dormitories. So if that's not your bedroom, basically you can't get up there without a charm, and you can't take the charm off somebody to get up there. So it does provide the students, most of whom when they live on site for that first year are not of age, it does provide them with a certain level of additional security. The students are also divided up into dormitories, and made unable to access other dormitories because as we will learn in subsequent books, so in the third book of the Phoenix series, you learn a little bit more about some of the conflicts within the community and essentially some beef between families. And so this is a way of dividing students up into groups where you are least likely to have issues and to kind of keep people separate to prevent issues. So again, like lots of things in the Phoenix series, the division into dormitories and the charms that protect the access to those dormitories is a lot about keeping the balance. The reason they all go to what is essentially a boarding school to learn about magic is because they have a huge amount to learn in the first year, and in order to make sure they are responsibly using magic as they learn it, they need to be monitored 24/7. So they have to go to a boarding school. They can't just go to like a normal school setup where they go 9 to 3 like a public school or a private school like that you or I have been to. It has to be a boarding school. They have to go and be monitored. They have to go and be educated, and they have to complete that first year of study. That's kind of all I want to say about the Orphealii Academy of Magic without giving too much else away, but I hope that you found this video interesting. The Hunted is the first book in the Phoenix series, and it is out now. It is out and available everywhere. It will be on sale in ebook format from January 17th, and it will be 99 cents. So it's a great way for you to start out the series and see if it's for you. And I hope that if you do read it, you will review it on Goodreads and Amazon. A Night Rises, the second book in the Phoenix series, is also out now, and I really hope that you will check this series out, and don't forget to review it, like I said, if you do read it, and I hope that you will subscribe to this channel.